scales here. I've just basically just recently watched this video. Basically, I'm really freaking like have really huge like heavy metal fan, to be honest, dude. Huge heavy metal fan before before, yeah, still is, or still is, to be honest, but it still is, but to be honest, just watching really like happy metal would consider like Freedom Call as such there, to be honest, if you know the freaking band, dude. But it's not important. Remember, this is basically just watching this video, basically just shorts there of about Ron James Dio. But Dio, Ron James Dio, is basically about his song Holy Diver, and apparently his concept that preludes it, to be honest, dude. The concept that preludes it, to be honest, dude. So basically the procedure. So basically all the lyrics are the reference, or the reference, to be honest, too. The reference was the story about it. The story behind it, to be honest. The backstory is freaking awesome, dude. It's basically about, it's basically the same as basically as Jesus in a nutshell. Not really like Jesus, but a Christ has said this, basically like a Christ-like figure, but just the Christ-like figure, but just in another world, or just another planet, to be honest. Probably pain, but just another world, to be honest. Just strictly adhering to the world. He's basically he did the things up there that Jesus did, but but the world, not the world, but basically that basically the inhabitants there, or humanity there, is basically humanity in quotation marks said there, that basically like, please don't go to another world, just basically save us, to be honest, dude. And just basically thinking that, and just what the fucking heck, dude. To be honest there, when one saves someone, or just basically helps out, it become really ridiculously codependent there, to be honest, dude. Not ridiculously, but you become codependent, or just attached. And just kind of like thinking about this freaking thing there is about not saving, but truly helping, or basically doing the best to the collective, dude. Doing truly the best of the collective. I remember there, yes, I know I've brought up already about this thing, about boring knowledge. If you know that freaking channel said that basically the water is much better for the bodhisattvas itself. There to basically bodhisattvas itself just basically break freaking samsara instead of bodhisattvas. It's about the South is basically reincarnating, not really reincarnating, but incarnating to the world, or basically manifesting to the world and help people, or just save and help people. It's much better just to break the cycle of samsara itself completely. And I'm kind of, and to break the cycle of samsara completely. And I'm kind of like thinking about that thing. I'm kind of thinking about that thing is just much better. Like, what's the best for the freaking world, to be honest, there? It's much it's literally the best for the world to freaking like leave it be, like Taoist way there, freaking leave it be, Taoist way, to be honest. There's a minor stick there, minor and not stick, but basically a business, um or doing the thing like Jesus, not doing, or or what next? What really like doing things like how like Jesus did there, or basically being a mentor truly there, help someone to fish, to basically, or learn, help someone to learn how to fish, to be honest, dude. What's the really best? What is the really the best for a freaking person, to be honest, dude, or even the collective though? It's much better not, it's not much better to actually just not just basically confine it to just a group, and just not a collective, to be honest, dude. Because mostly of them are just freaking normies, of course, just normies at all there. Most of them, they're really freaking stupid, strange and slow, to be honest. Freaking strange and slow, to be honest, dude. Freaking stupid. Not only about that, not really like stupid, doesn't not really like learn stupidity, but really obedient and compliant, to be honest, dude. And based obedient and compliant, to be honest, dude. Don't freaking throw the freaking pearls to the swine, dude. Or in a nutshell, there. Um, I don't know. That's pretty much it. Freaking the norm, basically just the normies, or even worse, freaking like much better itself to not like freaking like not freaking like have it to do not accidentally like freaking like not have it as a freaking a really, really like shape shifting freaking like psychopath to be honest. Not shape shifting, but basically like a guising or just masquerading freaking psychopath that I'm just a normal person, but they're really, really freaking evil and freaking like manipulative as heck to be honest, dude. Manipulative as heck, or just basically like freaking narcissist as well. Narcissist as well. It's pretty much that. Like, it's just basically helping a freaking group, helping a group. It's just collective or group or just purely in yourself or just in the individual sense there. Basically it there just helping a group, helping the group to be honest, dude. It's kind of like you kind of like know like the law of one to be honest, dude. That's like Ross law of one. Basically service to self or service to others there. That freaking like the service to self dudes that will not graduate or something like that, dude. To like really really stuff there. And kind of like to use the Taoist to be honest, dude. Basically use the Taoist. And saying that basically in the freaking stuff there, but it's really if one really concludes it at the end, it's just really the freaking one concluded to the end there. If one concluded at the end, it's just pretty much, I don't know, it's self really. Basically, it's pretty much that to be honest. It's pretty much that to be honest, dude. Pretty much that to be honest. It's purely like just the self to be honest, dude. The self as in a context is just basically your spirit there. That's pretty much it though. And pretty much it at the end though. And if one really and if one really sees it, and one really freaking sees it to be honest there, about like helping the soul though. It's a really interesting concept about helping a soul, because really it just basically when one actually just helps the soul, it just help the soul. It just basically just kind of like bounded to this basically like samsara to be honest, dude. It's much important to basically like help the spirit. Much important itself is not to help the soul, but basically just basically the spirit. It's just to know this, basically just the spirit or that, the spirit or the inner essence of that being, or basically the freaking inner essence, or basically basically the exemplification of that being, not being, that's basically of that person, or the essence of that true nature of that person. It's to be helped to be honest though. So yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it to be honest. So yeah, it's basically pretty much it. What's really there? What one really most important there? What is the one that waits truly to be honest, dude? But yeah, that's pretty much it though. Just for, just for that person to just know itself. That's pretty much it. Pretty much it to be honest, dude. So yeah. But in a sense, it's just kind of like just in a sense, it's just a basically a selected or basically like a niche thing. To be honest, dude, like not just basic a niche thing, but basic kind of like a niche thing, but it's basically just really, really ridiculous, like freaking really ridiculous, like freaking no ones. To be honest, dude, or basically just a certain basic type of group. If one really like knows it, that basic knows and basically like deduce it to be honest, dude. And deduce it of basically like freaking like analyze it to be honest, dude. And just what's really like the point of just the basically, if one knows basically that Dolores can't believe it, just I don't adhere to her principles to be honest, dude. It's just basically there's much there's actually some of us her ideas just I disagree. It's just basically freaking like stupid. I would say it's freaking stupid to be honest, dude. It's stupid there. Obviously a new ager, of course. Obviously a new ager, of course, they all just basically contributes to that, they all participate to that thing. As basically said there about the idea of backdrop people. Well, not really back. It's basically it's just it's backdrop people. Basically, it's just pretty much it there. backed up people there, and just basically there's like basically, if one is spirit itself there, and there's a freaking theater, and there's a freaking theater, and there's like a crowd or something there, or basically just act, there's act. There's basically actors themselves there. Not only just actors, to be honest, dude, but not only just actors, to be honest, but basic actors, to be honest, dude. But basically, the one that really one that really runs the theaters, to be honest. Well, one that really runs the theater there, or just comments a theater though. And really, like all the people there, or just the actors themselves there, or just basically all the actors there, even the freaking crowd is just basically like really important, or just basically the people there is just really important for growth. And I always freaking think about like what's the freaking like really like good for, what's the real like good for growth, to be honest there. Is basically just bounded by the soul and not really the spirit, to be honest there. Is the point of growth really overturning itself? Oh yeah, what's the real like the point of growth? Is just basically just bounded for the freaking spirit, to be honest. Not spirit, but for the freaking soul. Or basically it's just basically like it's just basically in bounds, or it's constraint of our karma, to be honest though. Karma, to be honest. In a nutshell, it's kinda like basically just the same dude that does basically spiritual practice there, but really does not know himself truly there, himself. Basically not himself, but just himself, to be honest, dude. He just remain in that thing, and just basically it remains in just that thing, and just basically like condition himself, reinforce himself, but really like he just forgets the fucking shtick, to be honest. Oh, what's the point with spiritual practice? This is basically pretty much it, to be honest, dude. This is pretty much it. It's pretty much it, to be honest, dude. This is really, really odd there. The spirit, not the soul. That's it. The true transcendence versus the one that's basically like trapped and just basically on this realm. Not really on this realm, but on the body, to be honest, or for the body. Pretty much it. That's it. Scales out.